I'm going to demonstrate to you the process of now taking your committed changes to your forked version. That's this one, not the master branch. Now it's going to be a little different for you because of course I am a administrator of the master branch. So I'll see things that you maybe won't see. But more or less you should be able to actually make a pull request. And if you're not able to, please let us know so I can make sure that you're able to do that. And there will be more guys involved in managing these snippets. So it's not only myself that will be responding to issues, but for the most part, if there is really a holdup, I'll come in and help, make sure that everything works as we expect. So you should be able to, after having done what we've explained in the previous tutorial, updating the snippets, getting out a forked version of the repository, cloning it down offline, and then basically unzipping the package into that repository, updating those files, committing those changes with messages, and then pushing it up here after you have ensured that your branch is in sync with the upstream branch. Okay, that if you don't understood, please go back, watch that tutorial. It's the previous one in the playlist on YouTube. And then this one now will be the first steps basically of doing a pull request. So once you are in your repository on GitHub and you've pushed your changes up here, you'll see this message and be able to click on pull request. So we've done that. Next thing, it will open a page where it basically identifies that you have forked VDM hyphen IO / Joomla Component Builder Snippets, master branch as the base. There's only one branch at the moment. And then your head of the fork that you've got is over here. And if it says to you that it's able to do a merge, then you're in good shape. Everything shouldn't be more complicated. You'll also now see that those commit messages you've made are now actually also showing up here, and exactly every change that was done. So basically you see we changed it from layout to tables, and it shows you that we've renamed it from this to that. So it actually identified that for us. And we can see, okay, nothing of the snippets have changed. You can scroll and see, okay, the snippet isn't changed, only those, and the date, which is good. We want to be able to see that when was the last change to the file. Here we can see that usage had a new description added. So that means if I was to now actually click on this link, added accordion snippet, click there, you'll see, okay, yeah, that's exactly what he did, added the accordion snippet. And the same goes for every one of these commit messages. And that's really what I meant when I said giving good commit messages will make it so much easier for us to review the changes and to make sure that it is correct. If it is very complicated and difficult, usually this kind of pull request will take longer. So doing smaller amounts of snippet contributions instead of whole bulk, I suppose, would be better. Unless you're already a trusted member in the community, then I'll suppose it will go easier. So yeah, if you haven't done any of these before, maybe take smaller steps at first until we get to know you and until we're more confident that you are a good contributor to this project. Yeah, so trust is important for us. So we'll be able to check this. Now, no pull request has yet been made. We've just come to the page of where it starts. You actually need to click on this create pull request. This will now open an area which you should give us information of what would sort of summarize this pull request. So if it's like a new library, let's say 3, 4, 5 snippets to a new library, then just put that as the title. Whatever would be enough to actually give those that needs to review this enough information to just off the bat know what's happening and what's coming, and especially if there is some specific detail. Now, I know that we will in time add some documents to this repository which will give you sort of demo names and stuff in this field, so that you'll know what to put in there. So that will still come. So I'm from now just going to say demonstration of snippet contribution. Now, I don't think you'll be able to make changes here. It's only the admin that actually has the ability to actually add a reviewer and assign a label and a project and a milestone. And so that will be the responsibility of the admin. They might not do it. They might feel, we'll just merge this in. We don't need to make much fuss of it. But if it's a big contribution and there needs to be some real, work done here, we must probably make use of these tools. The description, we could either just use the commit messages as the description, or like I said, that which we will maybe set up in the future. We will now then create the pull request and just give it another glance and say, okay, everything's fine, and click create pull request. We now have the pull request, and really here is where we as the admin will now get involved. You cannot really take it further, and rightly so, because we want to protect this repository. We want to make sure only good, well documented, well explained, well named snippets are contributed. And so once you have come to this point, you'll have to wait for one of our admin to get back to you, and actually, if they have issues, they will start discussing it with you, ask questions. And please, we want to just protect you and protect everyone else, so don't be upset if they have questions. In fact, be glad that they would. That will ensure that all of us will enjoy this infrastructure. So once everything is satisfied and everyone is happy, there will be some reviewers that will sign off on this pull request. And I think at this stage, if we have 2 reviewers sign off on it, at least, then we can, merge it into the master branch. Now, there are different ways on how the merging into the master branch is done. This is mostly related, and I'm doing this part mostly for the admin who may need to be able to do this. You could do it here on GitHub. Just click merge pull request, since there's no conflicts. If there is conflicts, then it gets more complicated, and usually we will need a more advanced admin guy who knows Git better to maybe in a command line be able to resolve some of this. You can click on this link here and it'll show you the command line way of dealing with it, or you could select one of these various merging options. Now, all of that I'll explain more in a tutorial that's just specifically directed at the further steps that is necessary for admins. Whereas regarding you as a contributor, this is really where you end and we take over. Now, I want to tell you that once the contribution is accepted and it's merged in, then it will again become visible in JCB, in the snippet get area, which we demonstrated when we started out giving an overview of how things work. And really that's what it's about. It's really all of this complexity that we've now discussed is not the main focus. The focus is to enable us to enlarge the snippet area without really intruding upon constant updates and database tricks to share these snippets, but instead have this easy way of maintaining a GitHub repository, which in effect will then be accessible via the JCB Get area. When you can add new snippets, you can obviously delete snippets just going to the snippets area. You can come in there and click here and trash a snippet, and then go to trashed, and here completely delete the snippet from your repository, which will then cause the snippet to be seen as non-existent in your snippets area. And so there are ways to remove duplicates, and I don't want to go into a very long explanation again on how the get snippets area works, but our expectation is that some of you would feel, yeah, I want to contribute, share snippets with the rest of the community, and in the same time get your name out there. Since looking at the files changed, you'll see that this new snippet has, yeah, it looks like it just did what it's been doing, because my name is on most of these, but it's because I added them, and that's why my name is on there. And so you are now also able to add your name in here because you're adding snippets, and that's really the idea. Well, so we come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you getting involved in this area as well.